Three, two, one, zero. Liftoff.
And liftoff. Hello and welcome everyone to Tarot Today Live, your live stream video simulcast radio show and podcast bringing you the world of tarot for the past 12 years. And I'm your host, Dax Carlisle, coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona. And joining me, my fabulous co-host, Mary Brown, live from Amarillo, Texas. We are live.
Hey, Dax.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Really great. I'm excited for our first live here where we are simulcasting the show. We are on Blog Talk Radio.
It's exciting.
Yeah. We're also on Facebook. We're on our page and our group. All you have to do is go over to Facebook and search The Tarot Guild. I think the URL to the page is facebook.com/The Tarot Guild. That'll take you right to the page and you can see us on video. And you can also join us in the chat room on the Tarot Guild website, thetarotguild.com. And just click chat or go to thetarotguild.com/chat. And you can join us in the chat room there. You can listen to the Blog Talk Radio audio there, or you can watch our video and get the audio that way, or both. Lots of options now.
So many choices.
Oh,
yes, so many choices.
So cool.
I see Sharona in the chat room, and you and me and Calm Creature.
Hi, everybody. Hi,
hey, everybody.
Everyone. And for those that are live in the chat room, I have the link right there in the chat. Yeah, to the Facebook page. So
cool.
Folks, if you click on that, you'll find the live. And you just click on the live to open it up. And that's when you can actually type in fact, we've got, oh, wow. I didn't check the live. We've got Sharona and Nix, and there's people in there chatting to us right now.
Wow. How
On
cool
Facebook.
That?
That's great.
It's so exciting.
I'm going to send them a little message. Hey, everyone. Oh, wow.
Cool.
This is really exciting stuff here, folks. Now, you got to bear with us because we're new at this, right, Mary? So
very new at this. Have not done this.
Yeah, there might be
not done this yet.
Like, there might be some technical glitches here and there. There might be, you might have to bear with us as we learn to do this more smoothly. But hey, we did pretty good for our first start, right?
I think so. I mean, I was pretty impressed at how well it went with the thing with Giordano, that live and streaming it. And
yeah, we did that too.
Yeah. And this, here we are.
That's right. That's right. And now you'll be able to see us. You'll be able to see our guests if they join us live here on the Zoom. We're actually on Zoom simulcasting to Facebook, to our Facebook page, also to our Facebook group, and out to Blog Talk Radio. Let's take a look on Blog Talk. We've got a bunch of callers in there already. Let's give out the phone number. Now here, you see these simulcasts, these Facebook lives, YouTube live. We're going to be on YouTube soon too, folks, so don't worry about it. If you prefer YouTube, we're going to be on there too. Meanwhile, right now, we're just going to put the recording on our channel till we get that going, but we're going to simulcast to everything. That's right. But you see all these lives, Mary. You see the live streams on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all over. The huge difference between that and what we're doing is we've got the phone banks. That's right. You could actually call in through your phone to this live show.
Yeah.
And it's 714-816-4628. That's our dial-in number for guests, and you can call in, you can chat with us. It's kind of open lines today. So anything on your mind you want to chat about, or if you want to get a mini reading, we'll do a mini tarot reading with you as well. let me give out the number again here. 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, press 1 on your dial pad. That'll put you up in the caller queue in the order that you called in, so we know that you want to talk to us. That's right. It kind of puts it's so funny because we've been doing this for 12
It
years.
raises a hand.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Mary, is that, we've been doing this for 12 years
Funny.
and it didn't do that before. We used to metaphorically say, metaphorically raise your hand, by pressing 1. Now on the switchboard, Blog Talk actually puts a raised hand. That's only been like the last year or so.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like, and it's not just the hand, it's like a whole arm, like a little skinny arm that comes up on the switchboard. It's kind of weird. I like it.
So
press 1. Everybody press 1.
Press 1. So I'm going to give that number out a little slower again. 714-816-4628. And write that number down because it's good for all of our radio shows on the Psychic Talk radio network and the Tarot Today Live stream. That's right. We are streaming here. Oh my God. I actually can show tarot cards and stuff now. Oh, there's the card of the day. The card of the day that I got.
Oh, wow.
Can you show your
my
card
of the day?
Oh, hey, hold it a little closer to the camera. Tell us about your card of the day, Mary. Oh, look at that. That's cool.
Yeah, this is, and look at the back design. You'll love the back design. See how it's like sacred geometry. But this actually comes
one of those
from
light
the
rings,
magical.
the light coming from the front. I'm sorry.
I have a whole bunch of. I do have a light ring. It's from the Magical Times Empowerment
Magical
cards.
Times.
Yeah, this came out a few years ago from US Games by Jody Bergsma. She did the book and she did the artwork as well, the beautiful artwork, and it's a big butterfly. And the card of the day is Metamorphosis. Trust the process and be patient. Becoming cannot be rushed. Change is beautiful. So I don't know, a lot of us talk about change and how we're, I don't know, we embrace it, we don't embrace it, it doesn't matter, it's going to happen anyway, right? It's not like you can stop change. Change is the one constant, as they say.
In the universe, the one constant.
I like the idea, right? But I like the idea, and the butterfly, is kind of the classic symbol of metamorphosis, transformation, changes. But I like the idea of like knowing that you can't rush it either. Maybe you can't avoid change, but you can't rush it either. Like it happens when it's supposed to happen. And that idea of thinking of change as this state of becoming, that it's not just, forces that we are just victim of and have no control over, but that we're actually going through that idea of becoming. I really kind of dig that. And it's such a beautiful deck anyways, by Jody Bergsma. Again, the Magical Times Empowerment cards. What about you, Dex? Did you get a card of the day? And what you just showed it. What was that? The Knight of Swords? Was it?
It's the King.
Oh, the King.
Yeah, from Chiro's deck. From Ciro Marchetti's deck.
From who else?
Anybody that knows me knows that I'm all about the Ciro Marchetti decks. It's my favorite stuff, has been for 20 years. I mean, I just really
I love his work too.
Absolutely. And of course, so swords, we're talking about the mind, we're talking about thoughts and ideas. This is great because along with the numerology, it fits in perfectly with metamorphosis, with the change you were just talking about. Yeah, because it's the 13th. So that's 4. 1 + 3 is 4. So that's that structure energy. So it's telling you to take a look at your structures in your life. That's a lot of different things. Okay. But the entire date reduces to 9, which is the number of endings. So this is a time of ending, of change. One cycle is ending, another's beginning. Okay.
Mhm.
And what the king is telling you to do is use the noggin, this is when it's a 9-day, this is a great day to let go of things that are no longer serving you. But we have emotional attachments to things. And that's, I think, why the king of swords in particular showed up to let us know to use our intellect and, think about all of this and not be, not allow our emotional attachments to prevent us from making the changes that we need to do. Are there beliefs that no longer serve you? Is there relationships that, are toxic maybe now, or you're not getting anything out of it, on your end, that kind of thing. The other thing to think about is one of my favorite ones to throw out there for all the entrepreneurs is, those projects that we have on the back burner, Mary.
Oh yeah.
And
I know all about it.
Oh, and it might be something we haven't even looked at for 3 months or 6 months, but we have an emotional attachment to it, and we don't want to let it go. It's our baby, but are you this King of Swords, are you ever really going to get to that project? Okay. So maybe you take it from the back burner to the farther back burner, if you or just let it go, and everything we let go, and it's not just all these things that are a little bit, don't have as much physicality to them, but literally cleaning out the closets too. When we clear things out of our minds and our hearts, when we make room that way, and then physically too, cleaning out the closets, cleaning out the garage, and tidying things up, getting rid of all of the stuff that, the piles of paper that, you don't even need it. You haven't looked at it for 6 months or a year. You don't need that, but there's that statement in there. Oh, it's online, folks. Throw the paper away. When we clear these things out, we make room for the universe to send new things in, right?
Ideally, I hope so. Right?
Yeah. You'll be amazed how this works. You'll be amazed. And I'm amazed at the synchronicity of your card of the day. Just fits in perfect with the numerology and the card of the day that I got.
It's weird. It's because we haven't done this before, like we've been doing shows together for how long? I don't know, a really long time,
Decade.
like years, but doing it this way and like hearing you, give the card of the day and everything. It's weird because it's for the first time I'm like watching you say it and I'm like,
isn't it different?
Yeah, it is. I'm like, oh my God, he's talking to me. Like, okay,
yes.
I'll clean out the closet. I'll change everything.
And there's a different quality.
I'm just like, wow.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've loved radio all my life. I've been listening to talk radio for 35 years. But and there's something great about that, about the disembodied voice coming to you.
I love it. I love it. It's my favorite.
Art Bell, George Noory,
coast to coast,
things like that, but there's something about the visual, that you can see the nuances, they say like 80% of our communication is nonverbal. So there's something at being able to we're a visual medium, tarot, so now that we've gone from Tarot Today Radio to we're still Tarot Today Radio, but we're Tarot Today Live now. We're kind of rebranding. And we're a visual medium. Yeah. We need to be able to show this stuff.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like, what can I show? Like, I've got I've got rocks. I've got my little generator quartz crystal
Ah, see, that's another
here.
thing we're going to be able to do now on these live simulcasts with the videos. You're going to be able to
That's
show your
cool.
crystals. Well, you're going to be able to show all your oracle decks and the fabulous artwork and everything. That is the neatest looking thing, what you just showed there, that crystal.
Yeah, isn't it cool? It's called a generator, and really what it is like, this is like all amethyst. So there's like an
I
amethyst,
love
like
amethyst.
kind of pyramid in the middle. But what I like about it is like this one is kind of different because it's like the edges are rounded instead of like just
Mhm.
pyramidal, however you say that. And then
Mm.
there's like all these points coming off of it. So I don't know. I love that. And yeah. Oh, and I've got, for my angel people out there, I've got a little howlite angel. See, little carved angel. And excuse my fingernails. I should have touched up my fingernail polish or whatever, but I didn't. Okay, I didn't. And you know,
Hey,
deal
that's
with it.
okay. I mean, for
Deal with
this
it,
live
people.
video, I barely brushed my hair, I
Right.
mean,
My hair
I
is
got
like,
the little
forget
stubble
it.
going on and everything, it's like, hey, people will just have to deal. This is the real us.
Yeah. What do you want?
I love your
This is,
hair. I think it's
oh,
fabulous,
thanks. But thank you. I'm working on it. It's like it's growing
Okay.
out. I'm letting it grow out naturally, and I've got this much left, and
Mhm.
then this much left. For some reason, anyway,
I like
the
how the
hair
color
show.
came out, Mary. You're going
It's
natural.
weird.
Isn't it? It's so great.
I'm surprised. I'm really kind of surprised by it. I didn't
Mhm.
know what to expect. I joined for, okay, so for listeners out there who've talked about the idea of going gray or thought about it, just letting your hair grow out because you're so tired of like coloring it and all of those processes all the time, bleaching it out and everything. It's like there's all these like support groups online, like on Facebook. It's like probably like the biggest Facebook group I'm in is like hundreds of thousands of people. And it's all like women from across the world who are growing out their hair, you know,
Wow.
because it's like a
Who knew
whole
that
like head,
existed?
it's like a whole head trip. I didn't, and then I did, and so now I do. But
Mhm.
yeah, and I was freaked out, but it's been like 2 years. But
Mm.
anyways, back to tarot. Not
Yes.
make it about hair, you know.
Hey,
But one thing I do want to say though, that was the best thing that anyone said to me during this
mhm.
whole like growing out my hair thing was I was talking to Raven Digitalis, who we had on this show.
Love
And
Raven.
I love Raven. And I was, and he wrote, because I got his book called Goth Craft, right? That's like all about being a goth, like gothic rock, Susie and the Banshees, et cetera, The Cure, Echo and the Bunnymen.
I
If you were
love the
like into
Cure.
all of that, right? Who doesn't love The Cure? But it was like, and I told him like I'm like growing out my hair after decades of like dyeing it black, right? And and I said it's like a rite of passage. I'm not that goth chick anymore. You know,
Mm.
I kind of am, but like not like everything, right? And he called me. He said you're an official elder goth. And I was like, oh my God, that's like the best thing, instead of just being like, I'm an old lady or I'm a crone, I'm going through the crone stage or something. I like the idea of like a elder goth, like that I can
Yeah,
deal
I
with.
like that term, but I was trying to avoid the crone term myself.
Right? It just conjures up these images in your head, and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna be the lady in the forest with the apple trying to poison Snow White. I don't want to do that.
Mm. So we have so
No.
much going on at the Tarot Guild, and we just did our live. But before we talk about any of that, let's take some phone calls here because a lot of people have called in. And if you're listening live on Blog Talk, or maybe
Oh, cool.
maybe you're watching the video stream right now, give us a call, 714-816-4628. Press 1 on your dial pad as soon as you get through. So we know you want to be live on air with us, 714-816-4628. I'm shuffling here. Let's see who's been waiting the longest. It looks like area code 216. Hello, caller, are you there?
Hello?
There might be a slight delay.
Hello?
216. What's your name, hon? Where are you calling from?
Hi.
Hi, my name is Sharon. Can you hear me okay?
Hi, Sharon. Now I can hear you.
Hi,
Where are you
Sharon.
calling from?
There we go. I didn't hear my phone unclick. No big. I'm calling from Ohio.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
What do you want to talk about,
Talking
Sharon?
about hair. That's so funny. I know you're talking
Oh.
about hair. I gave myself a hot oil treatment, so I left it on for an hour. That's just funny that you would talk about that because of the humidity. That's I know this morning, just this morning.
Wow, see?
But that's cool.
Hair today.
I know.
Hair today, gone tomorrow.
Anyhow, Can I? If you're so funny, can I ask
Hopefully
a
not.
specific question?
Yes. The more specific, the better, to be honest with you, the way I
Yes.
work. So what do you want to know?
Okay. This is very specific. This Wednesday, I don't know what the date is, coming up this coming Wednesday, I have my
What is that?
semi-annual
17th?
review. We have one and then we have one in February. Yep, it's like my semi-annual review. And I want to say, I get so nervous. I get so neurotic. I love my job. Do you feel it's going to go good? Go well. How's that?
That's it.
Go well.
Right.
We like that. Yeah.
Semi-annual review. And you're nervous.
Mhm.
Everybody gets nervous about that kind of stuff.
Oh, Mary, you know what I had to do?
So nervous.
Because, well, when we're on just audio only for radio, I have my other desk over here with my cards and I do the shuffling and everything like that. But because I'm in front of camera, so what I had to do is I had to get one of those lap desks. I don't know if you can see it.
Mhm.
You can't really see it because of the green screen, but I got this lap desk and I have to put this lap desk in my lap so I can shuffle and be on camera. Otherwise, you guys would see me like this, over here.
I know. That's what I'm doing. I have to lean forward to pull the cards and see them. Should I go first and tell
Yeah, go
Sharon what
ahead.
I got? Yeah. So look, this looks pretty good to me. Now, the thing that's interesting is I say it looks pretty good because I got the Chariot card. And I don't know if you guys can see this. I know you're on the phone, so you can't see this, but I don't know. I got to figure out the lighting so that like the card shows up better. Isn't it gorgeous? This is from
You need forward light.
Yeah, I know. I just, all these lights like make me
I
like
think I know
sweat.
what the Chariot card looks like. It's like, isn't that a 7? Maybe I'm
Right.
wrong.
It's a 7. No, you're absolutely right. It's a 7 card of the major arcana. This deck is
I don't know what
so
it means. Okay.
beautiful though, but it means success, like really simply,
Good.
Success. The one thing that I think about the Chariot too, I mean, I think a lot about the Chariot, but one thing that comes to mind is that idea of like, okay, this is your semi-annual review on your job. And, the idea of how you work with others, is probably something that may, be something discussed, because with the Chariot card, you've got 2 horses. Well, I don't have to demonstrate. I could just show I can't show the card very well.
I see it now.
This is from the Botticelli Tarot.
The light's
which
coming
I
in from the
love.
side. So if you turn it like that, then you can see it.
Oh, go on.
Yeah. So that's from the Botticelli Tarot from Lo Scarabeo that has all these gold flecks. It's just gorgeous. But, if you're driving a Chariot, yeah. And so, well, no, I pulled a couple more. So the other cards that come up here are 2 pages. I got the Page of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the Hierophant card. All right. And the 2 Pentacles is so 5 cards altogether. I do a 5-card spread. And so what I feel like this is saying is that I think it's going to go well. And if anything comes up, it might be just a couple things about maybe how we communicate with others, or working together. Because the idea with the chariot card, you're not going to go very fast driving a chariot if the horses pulling it are pulling in different directions. You want to like go together so you can go forward. And so there may be some talk about, what comes next. Are you in a leadership role in any way in your job?
I work at a bank. I work, and yeah, it's a leadership role. It's a lot. It's very analytical. I'm not a manager. No. But there does take a lot of leadership skills. I enjoy it. Keeps my mind very active.
Right. Because, to me, the chariot card also connects to the idea of leadership, and mentorship comes up with the Hierophant, So there might be some discussion about that, but overall, I'm getting that it's going to go pretty well. Let's see what Dax is getting.
Well, I'm having a similar
I did
thing
get a good one last year. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 2 8 cards here. 8 is abundance in numerology. We got the strength card, 8 of coins. You're working hard on your craft. They see that. They know you have the skills. They know you have the abilities. The 9 of swords shows up. By the way, I'm getting a ton of swords cards. And you were talking about Sharon, forget now. You were talking about how analytical it all is. Well, you're at a bank, right? And I think if anything is, in the 9 of swords, too many thoughts, too many ideas. And, it's like she's being woken up at night. It's there's a nightmare outside of her window. I don't know if you can see that, and
that's
so
me.
If anything, it's you worrying about this, not really what's going to show up in you.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, I feel, especially
I'm a
with
Virgo.
Oh yeah. I feel getting, a couple of 8 cards, abundance. You can't go wrong, but I'm getting a lot of swords cards. And Mary mentioned that 7 before, and I got the 7 of swords. It's like sometimes this card comes up when, look, the guy's sneaking off here, and and he wants to grab these 2 other swords, but he can't quite get to them because someone might see him. It's like things going on in the background that we're unaware of.
Someone that works on my team. There's one. There is one woman like that, by the way. The 7 of swords. The way you just described that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is one woman on that.
So
team like that.
It's reflecting here. And speaking of reflecting, is reflecting on all of this. The date today, the 13th, is I talked about that 4 structure. 4 is structure, and I got a 4 card, the 4 of swords, which is taking a step back from everything and evaluating, which is what is your annual or semi-annual review, but that very thing. But I think it also is indicating that you yourself, regardless of your review, you should be taking a deep interest in where am I at and where do I want to go, kind of thing.
Okay.
But as far as is
really
it going to
good,
go good? I mean, hey, like Mary said, it's probably going to be very well,
received.
I have to just watch how I think. Thinking. It's my worst.
I mean, if anything,
really
with all these swords cards, we're talking about, especially the 9 of swords, we're talking about overthinking. So just don't overthink. Try to take a deep breath. That 4 of swords says, take a step back, re-energize, and don't overreact with the thinking, with the ideas, what's going to happen, just see and go with it.
Yeah, because it's like you've already done the work.
Mm-hmm.
You've already done the work for this review. There's nothing that worrying about it is going to change.
I know.
And I think, you've done pretty well. It's like we get that sort of performance anxiety kind of feeling when we're going to be evaluated or tested. And, you know, that this is coming up on Wednesday. Today's Saturday. Let it go today. Let it go Sunday. Just let it go and just go in there and be present, you know, be there in the moment, listen and take it in and breathe it out. You're going to do great.
Thank you.
I hope that helped you out,
Thank
Sharon.
you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the call. Enjoy
Thanks
the
for-
wonderful
weekend. Yeah.
Oh, you too. Thanks for calling.
This is fun. I wonder how many people on the phone lines are actually also have their Facebook open and can see us.
I don't know.
I'm waving at you right now. But
I gotta use a little lap desk too, because I have to keep leaning forward to shuffle and deal.
And
That's
shout
why I'm
outs
like,
to
that's why I keep disappearing.
shout outs to Sharon. You know, she joined the guild back in 2017, and now with the new website, she finally found us again and rejoined. Thanks for joining the premium membership, Sharon. And if you're not aware of our premium membership, if you're into tarot, we do all these workshops for free for our premium members. And we do a few a month usually. We're taking a little bit of a respite here in late summer, you know, August, but we'll be back in fall. And it's $1 a month. It's $12 a year. It's $1 a month, you know. And Sharon, I'm so used to Sharona, you know, with the AH at the end here. Sharon, you know, rejoined, and I even sent her out an updated certificate of membership and everything. So cool. I just wanted to give shout outs real quick, all these people on Facebook here, because Nix and Tia and Andrea are all on here as well. Hi, everybody watching us live.
That's so cool.
This is really
It's
cool.
really cool.
Yeah.
Look at these cards. Can you see them very well? Can you see them very well? These are, again,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Hold on a
like
second,
blown
Mary.
away.
Let me put it on speaker view, and then it'll
Wow.
make you bigger there. Show them again.
Yikes. I don't need to get any bigger.
No, but show the cards again.
I'm just joking. Yeah. I mean, they're so beautiful. And like, it's one of those things where it's like they've got like flecks of gold on them. And I don't even remember when Los Scarabeo put this out, but like the world card. So like you got to like kind of tilt it so it catches the light so you can see the gold maybe. But it is just so gorgeous. And I know it's a mass produced deck and blah, blah, blah. But man, it is like blowing my mind when I'm like shuffling these, because I don't know. It's only like the second time I've used this deck.
Well,
But
I'm sorry. I totally missed it because I was, you know, concentrating on the live and the and the comment feed and everything. And I totally missed what deck you said it was. Los Scarabeo, right? From Los Scarabeo?
Yeah. Botticelli Tarot.
Oh, Botticelli. Okay. Yeah, it's really pretty.
It really is. And I'm just like being dazzled by it, because it's not just like the gold, but let me see if you can see this. It's like there's some cards like that, like the gold is like kind of like this blue kind of shiny part. And then also on other cards, it's like this pink kind of shiny part. So I don't know, but it is awesome.
It's
Anywho,
gorgeous. Hey, want to take another call?
Let's take another call, and then we have to talk about all the stuff.
Yeah, and the show's coming up on the network. We're at the bottom of the hour already, but we're having so much fun on this live. So we're going to go to area code 630. Area code 630. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. My name is Dion, and I'm in Wisconsin right now.
Dion in Wisconsin.
Hi, Dion.
Are you just visiting Wisconsin?
Hi. Yeah, like, so I'm from Illinois, but I moved up here last year, 'cause I was supposed to be working at this job in the area, and then it never ended up getting funded. So I'm not going back to Illinois, though. I decided I'm going to move to Florida. And so I started applying for jobs. Because I have like a really stacked real estate portfolio, like awesome portfolio of my work. So I'm not applying for anything like too difficult, though. Because I don't know the areas, I don't know the market. But I just want to see like what you get around a new job offer.
Job offer, wow.
In Florida. I think it's your turn, Dax.
I know. Hold on, I'm pulling cards. Jeez.
Sorry, no pressure, no pressure.
No pressure.
Fight over me now.
Stop with the
Yes,
pressure.
we're fighting.
Oh, there's that structure card again. We're getting a lot of the card, the numerology of the day, the 4 energy, with establishing structure is what it's telling me. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at the cards and then also face the microphone so you can hear me.
Well, it'll definitely create structure.
I'm getting some background noise. Anyway, I got the judgment card. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to try the speaker view myself here. That's the wrong. I forgot Blog Talk's going to do that. That might not work. Okay. So judgment, and so that's like the cosmic wake up call. Like, this is a big change for you. This is, I always tell people it's when the universe like reaches out of a cloud with a wet mackerel and slaps you in the face, like, wake up, Dion. So this is your opportunity to do something.
I believe that.
Yeah. So, rather than just looking for any old job, which I'm not saying don't do, you might want to do that, just to have the income coming in and so forth. But with this big move, and it's a big life-changing event with the judgment card showing up, and the Fool shows up, literally take a leap of faith. Okay. So I feel like you're holding back on something. I feel like there's something you'd really like to do, but you're not going feet first, just literally jumping in on it. And so what's happening is, it's like, okay, I've always worked in these sorts of maybe corporate jobs or this type of work or what have you. And you just keep thinking about, okay, I'm going to move to Florida and I need to look for this certain job. And so here you are, calling into a radio show and, pull cards and tell me if I'm going to get the job. It's like, well, of course you're going to get the job, but I mean, there's nothing negative in the cards coming up. But it's like missed opportunities. And that's why the judgment card is showing up to say, hey, this is more significant than just getting another job. You're moving to a whole new location, and the cards are saying that, the universe wants you to really, really think about this. Okay. There's something that you've always wanted to do. And you might have to, as far as keeping the money rolling in, hey, you might have to do some side hustles, some gig jobs, some, working for Uber and Lyft, or driving for Uber Eats, or Instacart, or I'm trying to think of all the apps. There's so many of them now. I mean, my God, Amazon, you could drive for everybody if you drive, and so you might have to do 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 side hustles while you're working on this other thing. Because I really think there's that significant life change, big new opportunity, maybe even entrepreneurial out there that you're supposed to be doing, you've always wanted to do, but you haven't, full card, you haven't taken the leap of faith. So let's see what Mary's getting. Mary, what are you getting?
I am getting the full card as well.
Oh, you're kidding me. I
Okay.
love the
So that's
synchronicity.
pretty crazy. And again, no, it's a button on the message there saying like, yeah, it's going to require a leap of faith. As far as, the central focus card I got is the devil card. Okay. So when the devil card comes up, in context with the fool card right after it, it's kind of interesting. It's like, what, if anything, do you feel is like the real obstacle here? What holds you back? And when I look at the past, I've got the 6 of Wands. So I don't know if it's what you've done in the past that you had that sort of expectation of or you experienced the idea of like success or recognition or appreciation for it. When you go in a totally new direction, you can't really expect that. And so not right away usually, right? And so I feel that you've got to really, really zone in on what is, controlling maybe your actions. Is it an expectation of appreciation? What are we looking for? And what are we looking for that's really going to like connect with our sense of adventure, our sense of like really stepping into like a new phase with this, instead of like, kind of following where the opportunity is. I think this is more about creating an opportunity for yourself, and there's different ways that we can do that. Entrepreneurship, like Dax mentioned, is one of them. But also, underneath the devil card is the Knight of Wands. This beautiful Knight of Wands in this deck, and it's like, yeah, I want to go, but I need to know like where I'm going to. I need structure. I need a plan, and I need to be willing to say, hey, I'm just going to dive off this cliff. I'm going to enter into like this new phase of life. It's kind of like that metamorphosis card that I got earlier for the card of the day. It's like you can't force it to happen, right? But you can create opportunities for yourself by really like getting clear on what it is that you want to be doing, and really what you want to be doing. When the Fool takes that leap of faith, that's like with an open heart. It's not out of fear, So I hope that helps.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've been working from home since 2002.
Oh, great.
So I was looking for. Yeah,
awesome.
The thing with that is like I'm single and stuff like that, and it was like this time I was applying at places where I would be going into an office, so I'm not so isolated. Like I'm tired of that.
Okay.
And yeah, I know that I could start my own company and make money and stuff like that, but and I probably will do that a little bit later down the road. I got to get my footing first. Like I get to know the area and the sales trends and stuff like that. So in the beginning, I was just looking to get in with more people down there. That's how you meet people, is through other people. I don't want to be isolated working from home. This time it's like, no, I'm going to, work for a company and be involved like with a group setting.
Right. But you also meet a lot of people doing the side hustles. You can meet a lot of people and I mean, whatever it is, dog grooming or dog walking or, one of the I do
Yeah.
a lot of ride share. I take a lot of ride shares, as a passenger. And I talk to the drivers all the time, and that's what they tell me is what's really great about it is meeting all these people. And they tell you what they do, your passenger, and then sometimes you connect with them because it's something that's gonna, they're doing something or running their own company or what have you, and opportunities show up and everything like that. That's what I'm saying. It's just like, it's think outside of the box. There are other ways to get involved with other folks where you're moving, meet new people, which is a little bit outside of the box, which isn't what we normally think of. When we think of working with a group or, with having a bunch of coworkers, we think of, working in a business and working for a company or being in an office or what have you. But there's other opportunities out there where you get to talk to and meet just as many people, maybe even in a better setting, than an office actually. And so I just wanted to throw that out there, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving you information that's coming up in the cards, and the cards are saying, to think outside of the box. So I hope that
Awesome.
helps you
Thank
out,
you so
Dion.
much. I really appreciate the reading.
Yeah.
It does. Thank you.
Thanks for the call. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thanks.
Hey, Mary, what do we got coming up on the radio network? Just gonna look it up.
Let me read. Let me read what it is on my Kindle. So what do we have coming up on the Psychic Talk Radio Network? Well, our next show is Sunday, August 14th. That's tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's the Magic Universe Show with your host, Sharona Rapsick, and she has a special guest on, Sheila Heights. Right? How do you say that? Is Shalay, Shala? There's two A's at the end of Sheila.
I always just said Sheila Heights. I don't know.
Well, that's an easy way to say it. Okay, so, and they'll be doing free tarot readings. And then after that, you and I will be back, Dax, on Saturday, August 20th, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, with our special guest, Ellie, the Moonchild. And
Ellie, we love Ellie. You're going to love that. She's going to be on camera with us.
Sunday, August 21st, it's another episode of the Angelic You Show with your host, Maria G. Moss. Now, if that show is new and just premiered recently, so if you haven't heard it already, go back and listen to it, and then you'll be ready for next week. But that is what we have coming up on the Psychic Talk Radio Network. And you can find all of that by going to psychictalk.net/upcoming. And if you haven't yet, we post about all the shows, and, I post my card of the week now, as it is. I'm only doing it once a week now. But we post all of that on our Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group. We have a page, we have a group. Like the page, join the group, join the conversation. And you can find that either by looking for Psychic Talk Radio Network on Facebook or going to psychictalk.net/Facebook. Back to you, Dax.
Woo, that's a lot. I just realized this is the first time in all these gazillion years that I actually got to watch you read the upcoming shows.
Yeah, right.
What happened to you? You're like, all I see is hair now. What
I know,
what are you doing down there?
I know. I'm putting my Kindle back.
Oh
my gosh. Jason,
well, just to tag on.
It's been sending me like a million messages. I'm like, I'm on the air.
Well, just to tag on what you were saying there is, you can find all of our shows, or most of the shows anyway, on the Tarot Guild website, the tarot related ones anyway, and thetarotguild.com. And then, of course, psychictalk.net for the whole radio network. We're also on blogtalkradio.com. But our social media is where you want to hang out and see all the posts and what's coming up. We also do Facebook events for each radio show, live stream, or event that we're doing right there as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
We just had an event.
Yeah. We should
That was
talk
our
about
first
that.
live stream.
We did our first
Yes.
live stream, Simulcast.
Ooh, it's so exciting. It was exciting. It was a lot of fun. And we did it via Zoom. And so like Pamela, and I think it was Ellie there. I think Ellie
Yeah, a
was
whole
there.
bunch of people
Sharon,
joined us.
Sharona. Yeah, you know, got in on the Zoom with us. And basically what
We
it
streamed
was,
it to Facebook.
and that was amazing. And then also we put the replay of that on, where did we put it? We put it on our YouTube channel. I can't remember all of this stuff. But what it was we went to Italy. We kind of had a virtual tour of a historical tarot exhibition put on by famed tarot historian Giordano Berti from Fino Borgo, Italy, which is this medieval city. And he made this exhibition of like all this stuff, you know, historical tarot decks and items and books, you know, like a first edition by Eliphas Levi. Like, what? Like, that blew my mind. That still blows my mind. I'm like, well, what, you know? But all the oh my God, and then the whole big discussion that spurred about the second deck that Arthur Edward Waite did when he did after the Rider-Waite-Smith, not complete, but a totally different thing and a totally different direction, more connected to his beliefs in the Rosy Cross type thing. I don't know. You help me out. You know more of this mystical stuff than I do. It was very mystical.
Not really. Not really.
Oh, pshaw.
Yeah.
Don't lie.
But what I did find fascinating is it just came to me afterwards about Arthur Waite, you know, maybe not feeling complete with the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, so he commissions a second deck and starts working on the second deck, you know, and it's not complete, but it wouldn't be nice if somebody completed it and actually produced it. That'd be nice, as well as a book telling the whole story. But the thing that fascinated me was, you know, here's all of these organizations. You've got the Golden Dawn in the UK, and the Rosy Cross is more French. And these organizations, and these were the big thinkers of their day, you know, and trying to figure out esotericism and you know, high magic and all these kind of things. But they kept coming back to tarot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he felt this need. He creates a deck. He dictates a deck to Pamela. Pamela creates this deck. And then now he's dictating a second deck. You know, he felt the need to do yet another deck, you know, which just to me shows you what they thought of tarot, that how important it was, you know, that these big thinkers, you know, would be creating tarot decks and using decks in their rituals. And so we're not talking divination here, you know, we're talking about high magic and stuff. I just thought that was amazing to me, you know.
Yeah, I think it is too. And I think that's a good point that you make, that you know, that they kept coming back to tarot, because I think that at some point, and I don't know how or why, but I think at some point, and we can argue about, you know, the media's terrible influence, you know, in stereotyping tarot and tarot readers and stuff. But at some point, I think we got away from that idea of it being connected to mystical or, esoteric, or I guess like serious, like theories and concepts and stuff. I think, the mainstream public, you know, don't understand that history. I can't profess to understand it myself, either. Like all of it, I'm not a historian, but I do find it fascinating. And I think any of us who do take tarot seriously, which we do at the Tarot Guild, I think that we have had the experience of it being more than just divination,
Right.
and I think that point is lost today. Like, we talk a lot about the mainstream streaming of tarot, but I think still in the mainstreaming that's happening, where a lot of more people are aware of it and getting readings and buying decks and learning it and everything, I think the focus still is on divination. I don't think it's so much on the mystical. It is for
No.
some people, like, but for the most
No,
of them,
very
no.
few. Very few. I mean, I think the commercialization of it, and I love that they're spreading the word about tarot, and tarot is becoming mainstream, but it's definitely from the angle of it being a prop, or being a party trick, or something fun. It's fun, and it is fun, but it's okay, Mary. You don't have to hide from the camera to drink the
I
water.
want to drink a water. I'm like,
I drink it right on
like,
camera. I drink my water right on camera.
I'm like, hold on, I need to drink a water.
Do you know what I'm?
But yeah, no, I think you're right.
Yeah,
it is fun. I mean, I'm not, we can't disagree with that. It definitely is fun. But yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, and look at all these decades that have gone by, and it's become more and more mainstream, but yet you'll look at an article and you go, oh, this is great. They're talking about tarot and cosmopolitan. But then what comes up in the article? Yeah. Does the death card really mean death? It's like, oh my God, I mean, we answered that question 50 years ago. No, it doesn't mean death. It's transition.
Right.
It can mean death when it's in conjunction with other cards, but it's complicated, but you see Live and Let Die, it's 1971, and she pulls out the death card, and here we are in 2022, and it's still, what does the death card mean? I mean, it's exciting for it to go mainstream, but then it's also, just once it
annoying, just a little
annoying.
So
annoying, it's like, it's a party trick. It's a fun thing, it's like, hey, let's do tarot, it's not being spread seriously with the serious concepts involved either, and it's all about the divination.
No.
I think tarot is more tarot. The real power of tarot is fortune creation, not fortune telling, to me.
Yeah. And I agree with that. And what I see Cosmo and other, magazines and their, connected websites doing is treating it like they do astrology. Like, here's your horoscope. Here's your cards for the week. Hey, everybody, if you're an Aquarius, this card is for you. This is really going to be your card for the week. And it's not just those people doing, hey, look at YouTube. That's all they're doing. Hey, Aquarius, here you go. Hey, Sagittarius, this is your, and I just don't buy into that. Like, I think that cheapens it. I think people that do those astrological readings, like everybody under the sign, here's your card, I think it's BS. And I hate to say it. I know a lot of people that, oh my gosh, I know people that do it. Okay, so scratch that. Forget I said that.
You're going to get a lot of those. The hate mail. The hate emails are coming now. They're coming now. Hey, but
oh
wait
my
a minute.
God, sorry.
But Mary, Mary,
You
the
shouldn't
way,
have me on camera. I'm going crazy here.
I know, but Mary,
Going off script.
the way you describe that though is perfect with the astrology, because that's what I'm trying to get with the tarot going mainstream, which I'm finding it difficult to really express what I mean. But that analogy you just did is so perfect. Think about it. The dumbing down of astrology, where it's like the 12 sun signs, and it's like Scorpio, you know what's happening this week, because you cannot use astrology from just the sun sign. It's a complicated web of, like, take someone's natal chart, where all the planets and heavenly bodies are, and the constellations, and your north node, and all that. I don't know anything about astrology. I'm just throwing out whatever I've heard. I'm a tarot reader, not a
right.
Numerology and tarot, not astrology. But so the commercialization and the mainstreaming of it has dumbed down a very complicated chart down to a sun sign, and we're just going to throw something in there with the sun sign, and it's the same thing. It's not the same thing with tarot, but it's a similar thing, where it's like, oh, this is fun, let's pull a card. It's like, doing an actual reading is a lot more complicated than that. It takes more than one card. It takes more than 2 minutes. That's why we always say on the radio shows here, we're doing a mini reading. So if you really want to go in depth, and especially if you don't want to air your dirty laundry, live on the air, then book a private session with Mary, or book a private session with me. And it takes 20 minutes, 40 minutes, to get in, and you're pulling multiple spreads, with each spread having multiple cards, and you're going deep. It's not like the way they make it, where it's kind of fun. Oh, look, the 3 of Cups and celebration, and we're all gonna, it's girls' night out, and we're gonna go dancing, and that's it. There's more. There's more to it. If you're listening on the radio, by the way, I just showed the 3 of, you guys got to watch the video. It's so cool. I just showed the 3 of Cups card. Yeah. And I keep forgetting that some people are listening to this on radio and they're not seeing my visual cues, but anyway, hey, let's try to take a couple more calls before we get off the air here. We're still live streaming. Anything going on in Facebook? Can I have a reading from you guys? It's Kweezy Jones. Oh, look how they did their name. K-Weezy Jones, Kweezy. Hey, if you can hear us, just toss in what you'd like us to pull some cards on. We'd be glad to do that. Sharon, I keep wanting to say Sharona because I'm used to Sharona Rapsig, who shows tomorrow. Sharon Miller, okay, shout back, and really she's really enjoying the Tarot Guild, and I know she's getting back into Reiki. She's doing the Reiki thing.
Reiki. Oh, awesome. We need to talk, Sharon. I love Reiki.
Yeah, she wants to specialize in that, and I oh gosh, I think it's for, I can't remember what it's called now. Anxiety, maybe. Sharon, if you can hear us, type in the chat there, what in the comments on the Facebook Live, what you're wanting to help people with Reiki. I can't get it out anyway. And then Kweezy says, something general, so like, I guess let's just pull a card. Mary, pull a card for Kweezy here.
Mary, pull a card. Okay. I'm going to do that
back here.
I have to tell you, when I just pull a card on a general reading, I tend to do that with oracle cards instead of tarot cards.
Oh, great. We get to see oracle.
How I feel about it. So I'm going to pull a card for Kweezy from the Magical Times Empowerment cards that I pulled the card of the day from. Ooh, And I'm also going to pull a crystal wisdom card too, just to see what the little message is. But this is nice because it's just a general message. And let's see what comes up from the Magical Times Empowerment card. You have seen and unseen allies. Draw upon their strength. Join forces with friends and flourish. So, and this is the Union card from the Magical Times Empowerment deck.
Oh, I see that. It's got the dragon. I think that's a dragon.
Yeah,
I love dragon.
it is a dragon.
I was born.
But yeah, so Kawisi, ooh, so you are a dragon master. But yeah, Kawisi, so what this is saying is, I think, you know, when you ask for like a general message like that, the first thing that comes up is you have seen and unseen allies. So you have people on your side that like you don't even know, or maybe you're not even thinking about, are there, you know, supporting you and ready to, like, they have your back kind of thing. So whatever it is that's going on, or if you have a moment coming up where you feel like you need that added support, or you're kind of asking yourself like, man, you know, who's got my six, you know, and they're there for you. And it may be just people that like you haven't even talked to in a long time that would be there to give that support to you. And then finally, one little card from the Crystal Wisdom deck, these little teeny tiny cards that are so cute.
Oh, wow.
Pictures of crystals. Let me just draw it randomly, and it's a beautiful Amazonite life purpose. I'm fully aligned to and living my life purpose. That's a question for you, Queasy.
Those are so cute. I love sideways card. No one does sideways.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I thought it would be great to have whole scenes on cards instead of just, you know, upright.
Oh,
images.
Totally.
I'm surprised no one's ever done that. It's weird.
I know, it is weird. But, you know, just one thing I want to say about Amazonite crystals, you can see, I don't know if Queasy can see it or not, but, you know, this is a blue crystal. So when we're talking about what our life purpose is and being aligned to it and living it, it's really like you feel like you're doing what you need to be doing. And especially when it relates to communication, you know, our blue crystals connect with our throat chakra. Are we speaking our truth? Are you, you know, saying the things that you really feel that are really like your truth, rather than, you know, saying what you think is going to be acceptable to others, or that you think they want to hear. So that's what I got. What do you have, Dax, for Kawisi?
For Queasy, I love, oh God, I just can't get over that.
I love the name.
A-Weezy.
The name's awesome.
Suddenly I'm thinking of the musical group Weezer. So I got the Two of Swords. So, you know, in the previous reading, we were talking about swords and thoughts and ideas. And so in this case, we're talking about two thoughts or ideas that are in opposition to each other. Typically with the Two of Swords, you are unwilling or unable to make a decision. There may be a crossroads, two different paths that you could go down, and you can't figure out which one to go down, or you're unwilling to make the decision. And that's the message that's coming up for you. So I pulled another card and got the Page of Cups. So we're talking about creativity, artistic ability, communication, and it's talking about getting in touch with the emotional side. So remember, with the Two of Swords, it's all swords, thoughts, ideas. So we can get stuck in that, you know. And so the page comes along and says, okay, dip into, like, you know, sit down into your emotional space. What does it feel like on each one of these possibilities? And your body will physically tell you which is the right path to go down. So that's what I've got for Kawisi. I hope that helps you out. Oh my God. I just love that too much. I don't know why. Anyway, so let's go over here real quick, see who's been waiting the longest on the phone lines. It looks like we have a 347 call. Are you there, caller? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, my name is Tanika. I'm calling from New York.
Tanika from New
Hi,
York.
Tamika.
Cool.
What do you want to talk
Hi.
about?
How are you? I wanted to talk about love. Well, seeing if there's love. There's two different gentlemen from my past that sort of are in my orbit, and they're both born in the same. They're both born in the same day, which I didn't know that their birth day is the same. But I was involved with both of them at different points, and I haven't been in a relationship in a few years now, and I want, something meaningful not to be used. I just wanted to know if you see anything with either one of them with me, or
why
or
not
anything
try
at all to do
both?
with
Why
love.
does it have to be either or? You can test the waters. Hey, that's just I'm
Yeah.
a Gemini.
complicated.
I'm about trying everything, and so I'd be like, oh yeah, man number one, man number two.
Bachelor number one.
Yeah, I
How
would
can
just
how can you give me like an initial for each of them so I
yeah.
know
How are we
like who
gonna
I'm looking
either
at?
way?
How do
Yeah,
I discern?
course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you need,
Or-
I don't mind giving it to you, whatever you want. So
Or just
you
in
want
your
to
Yeah,
head.
just a
okay.
Or just another way to do it is just in your head, you go, okay, person number one, and in your head you go, that's Frank. Person number two is Fred.
Got it. You
and then
guessed it.
okay.
and then we just
What?
That's one of their names.
Wait, which?
Oh my God.
Frank?
That's the most recent one's name. Yeah, one of their names is Frank,
There you
and the
go.
other one's name is Harris.
Harry. Frank
Harry
and
and Frank.
They both
Yeah.
born of Harris.
It's so funny
both
because
what?
Harris. The first one is Frank, and the second one is Aris. Aris. Frank is the person I was
Aris.
involved with. I stopped seeing him in 2000. Aris. Aris.
Harris.
And they're both from my past.
Harris. Okay,
No, but
Frank
Mary-
and Harris.
Mary, I was gonna say I keep telling people how I am not psychic, but then these things happen where I just
Oh, just
pull
admit
one
it.
of the names out of the ether,
Crazy. Frank and Harris. Is it my turn? I think it's my turn.
Go
And I am
ahead.
just
See what you're
leaning
getting.
forward to shuffle and see is anything going to happen with Frank or Eris as far as a relationship. Frank.
You want their
Eris,
birthday?
Frank.
No, we don't
No,
have
I
time
don't
to go
need
through the
it.
numerology right now.
Frank.
That would take too
and
long.
Frank. Ooh. Okay. Eris, and Eris. I have to say that things could change with Eris. I just have a good feeling about Frank, to tell you the truth. But more needs to happen, obviously. We've got the Ace of Cups. Okay. And that's always a nice thing to come up when we're talking about like love life and, is something happening, so there's, emotional connection and stuff. But, I am with the Three of Cups. So it may just be that like, you're going to feel that emotional connection, that romantic connection to Frank. But Frank might just end up, you and him having a good time, going out, dating, getting together. Nothing wrong with that. That looks good. He comes up, I don't know what sign he is. It doesn't have to match or anything, but he does come up as the King of Wands. So, that's hot,
Both Scorpios.
right? He's a what?
They're both Scorpios, and they're both Scorpios, and they both got cocky on me in the past, and it ended up hurting my feelings. That's what made me kind of just walk away.
Yeah.
Aris, I recently contacted on my own, but like they get cocky, like they could tell that you have feelings for them, and they start to act like they're all that, and you're all over them, and that turns me off. That scares me away.
Well, look, pay attention to that. It's like, what do you want to do, right? Like, what do you want? Forget like these guys are coming towards you. That's great, but don't play their game. Play your own game. So you're getting what you want out of a partner rather than just like being pulled, into the Scorpio's clutches. I'm a Scorpio, so I'm nothing bad about
I got
Scorpios
something on
except
that in a minute.
we all know. But look, I think if it's just about like, having a good time with a hot guy, then I would go with Frank. Things could shift also with Eris. I got the Wheel of Fortune with him. But I feel like Eris is not going to be as much fun as Frank is. Like there's a sweetness that's coming from Frank that I don't see from Eris. So let's see what Dax is getting.
Yeah, it's funny, Tanika, because like right away, instantly, of course, I pulled Frank out of my ass, but the name, but right away, I felt better about him and more of an attraction. And then when I pulled the cards, I got for him the Hierophant card, which to me just means, somebody is, this person is ultimately going to be more grounded and, has a foundation. But then I get the Magician card too, which, I feel that's, I mean, he could be the magician, but I really think that it's more aimed at you, that you actually ultimately have the control. Okay. And with Eris, what I get is very interesting. Okay. So with him, the Eight of Wands, things can move really fast, right? But Four of Cups. And in this particular version here in Chiro's deck, it's a little different than in the other, like Waite Smith versions of the card, where there's the individual under a tree looking down at the Three Cups with their arms crossed. They're not happy about what they're being offered. And off coming out of a cloud is a hand with a fourth option that they're not even seeing. In this card, look, it's different. He's got the three options. Okay. He's looking up at the fourth option. He's looking for other, I'm struggling to figure out how to say this, but it's like, it's the wandering eye. He's never satisfied with what he's got in front of him, so he's got the wandering eye thing. So if it was between the two, I would say, go with the structure, go with Frank, the Hierophant. However, if you just want to have fun and we're talking fast and loose and things happening really super fast and 8, the number of abundance, then you go with Eris. Or like I said in the very beginning,
are they involved with anyone?
Rewinding all the way to the very beginning there, Tanika, why not both? So what do you think?
Are they seeing anyone? Well,
That's another question. We don't have time to go
accurate.
into another question. Unfortunately, we only can do one question at a time. Yeah, because there's a whole lot of people waiting on the phone lines and it wouldn't be fair, but
we're out of time.
And we're out of time. We're running out of time here. It's almost, the show's almost stopped live streaming. So, but thanks for your call, Tanika. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope that helped you out.
And remember, what do you want? Forget what these guys want. These guys, we know what they want. It's all about that thing.
All about that thing. Oh gosh. Yeah. So we're supposed to be an hour show, but we're, 20 minutes over already. So, but we're having such a good time, Mary.
Yes, we are. This was fun.
Yep. So I guess we should get out of here and say goodbye to everybody. And, thanks for being here for our first live stream. And it's going to be even more fun next week because we have a guest. We get to play with Ellie. She's one of our premium Tarot Guild members. She's one of our newest newly certified tarot readers as well. And she also said she wants to take phone calls with us and do readings. So, and she's going to be on camera with us too. Yeah, she's one of those younger, technically proficient people.
We need more of them.
We need more of those, okay. But thanks everybody for being here, and we will see you next week, right?
Yes. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Mary.
Bye, Dax.
Good night, Mary Ellen.
Good night, John Boy.